Hello, Jen, and nice to meet you in cyberspace. This will be some feedback for 3.1 all the way through, I think, 4.1. And even though it was late, I'll accept the discussion board post because, it was really important to develop some wireframes. And wireframes you gave us. So good going on that. So here they are, and you mentioned in your post that you liked, I think, the third. I think it's the cleanest. I replied, I believe. I suggested maybe butting the photos up to each other, and they're skeletal, which is just what they need to be. I can see these adapting to a wide variety of devices, pads or tablets, smartphones, small screen devices. And these, I think I might have mentioned too that, page design, printed page design, there are some commonalities with printed page design still and web page design. And one of those commonalities are grids. And, these are what these are, really, are grids, right? And I think I like the ones where it's implied, I guess, that the images bleed off the edges. I can see something like this adapting well to a wide variety of formats. So Jen, I went to this web address, and I see that you have your own domain on 000 web host. I'll just call it web host. And you met the requirements or the criteria of the rubric well, and it's just a binary rubric. The first is, have you formatted a heading? I see that you are using the corporate colors for a heading of Pasta Amore. And also I see that you have been able to upload it to webhost. Now just think about, this is great. You've accomplished a lot. Also, you've been able to select a background color and import a logo. Let's see, how does that fit? Or is that part of the background image? Let me take a look at your code. Here is your code. I wanted to say that, web hosts, especially free ones, nothing is free, right, will put their own code on your page. So this is a good example of that. Here's a script, probably a JavaScript, that is placed there by your web host. I wanted to zoom in on this. And, this is great. Here's where you've indicated the background color. You've used quotes. And let's see what else. Looks good. And here's where you've imported a background image. And you've used, this is inline styling, but that's fine at this point. You've used the corporate colors, the trip hex numbers. Good job on that, and it's good clean coding. You've also commented on it. Jen, it's great that you provided screenshots too, and here's your brackets code, which I just showed you. But in it, I was using the browser developer view of the source code. And you can too. All browsers allow you to look at the source code. The ways to do that are different. I use Chrome, and I think I go up under View, Developer, and then View Source. Or the keyboard shortcut on a Macintosh, at least, is Option-Command-U. And here I see the undistorted view. It looks like a screenshot. This is probably predates the logo, unless it's up here somewhere. But good job. Now, is the logo independent of the photograph? One thing is to take a look at SVG file format, single vector graphic. It supports transparency, but also vectors, and so the logo, which is a vector file, will be crisp at any scale. Jen, I see that you have considered an image folder and a documents folder, where presumably the HTML for each of these pages will be in the documents, and the images, the photographs will be in the images. Or, keep all the pages, page HTMLs at the same level as the index. To start, if that makes things simpler. And then I see that for your file management structure, you have a, how is this working here? I see. Okay, so these are, instead of folders, you've used envelopes. That's neat. So the container metaphor is an envelope, and within that are directories. Directories, envelopes, folders, they're synonymous in this context. I think you grasped that. So long as the file management on the server matches whatever you're doing on your working computer, you'll be okay. And in other words, if you have an image nested in a directory or a folder, if you will, on your computer, that the same names, file names and folder names are, and the same images nested on your web server. Jen, that brings me back to the wireframe discussion, and I'm glad you posted something. Well, not just something, but some really good skeletal, color-coded. I like that. Each are different, distinctive by the color palette. You might consider using the corporate color palette as if you were going to make a presentation, a static presentation. Just a thought. It's something that you might realistically do in the future. So good job. And if I've missed anything, please send me an email.